What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Obviously, Stanley Cup Game 7 is tonight. Edmonton was forced down the rail. They've come all the way back and forced the Game 7. Was looking like a snooze since the Stanley Cup has turned to an historically great Stanley Cup. Game 7 is tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. It will be in Sunrise, Florida, so I'm sure all will be watching that. Let's talk some baseball to start off the show today. Talk about the MLB standings. We are about a little over a quarter of the way through, I would say. Actually, no, I think we're actually almost halfway through for the most part. Most teams have played a solid 75-ish games. Let's start with the American League East. Yankees still leading 52-28, but they're in a bit of a slump. You lose 2 out of 3 to Boston, and now you lose 2 out of 3 to Baltimore as well. You've split the first 2 with Atlanta. So, that was rolling and hit a bit of a bump in the road. I think some flaws are starting to kind of squeak out, when it comes to the bullpen blowing a couple of games, and you saw the Yankees are struggling to control the running game. So against Boston, Trevino's arm has never really been that great, and the Red Sox really exposed that in that series. You have a couple of dead spots in your lineup. Gleyber Torres is struggling, both offensively and defensively. Rizzo's hurt. So you have a rookie, Ben Rice, starting at first base. You just called him up. Now Stanton's hurt again. Surprise there. So now you have LeMahieu back to playing every day. Luis Cabrera's not going to play every day. 2 games ago, he played well. Had went 2 for 4. Hasn't had a great year. Hasn't really worked out with top prospects so far. Trevino, obviously he's struggling to control the run game. So you have a few flaws coming out in the New York Yankees. Still getting up ahead of Baltimore, who's a 49-28. You have Boston 42-36. They're playing well right now. You have Tampa at 38-40 and Toronto at 32-42. They are really struggling. They have lost 6 straight games. You just had their number 2 prospect, who they just called up, or Bayless Martinez, was just suspended for 80 games for performance-enhancing drugs. What he said was him and his wife, back in the Dominican Republic where he's from, was sort of family. So him and his wife were prescribed a fertility pill by a doctor. Dr. told him it was not a violation of Major League Baseball's PED policy, but it turned out that it was, and MLB caught him, and he got suspended. Hey, look, the guys do this all the time. I took a fertility pill. I didn't know it was against the rules. What the steroid he took, I forgot the name of it. I was doing some research on it before I talked about it today. Steroid he used can be used for fertility. That's also a steroid that you use along with other steroids. So he might have been using it for fertility, but he was probably using something else as well along with it, to give him a little bit of a leg up. So guys use those things all the time. It's not. A lot of times guys use it as fertility, and they realize, if I use something else with this, I can not only can I can do what I need to do when it comes to starting a family, when it comes to the fertility part, but I can also help keep myself fit, and recover a little quicker, and have a leg up. And then they call it it was a fertility thing. I didn't know it was against the rules. Dude, stop. Okay, stop it. Guys do this all the time. It's an excuse. He got caught. Yeah, he was trying to explain himself. But in the American League Central, Cleveland continues to play really well. 49-26. They won 5 in a row in first place. 7.5 game lead over the Minnesota Twins, who have been playing well so far, at least lately. And it's Kansas City at 42-37. They've been better than expected. Tigers are at 36-41. They might need to cut Javier Bryant. He's hitting 180 this year. His defensive shortstop is gone. The guy is completely washed. He's absolutely cooked. They should just cut him. He's got a lot of money left on his deal, but this one just cut him. And then the White Sox are 21-58, by far the worst team in the league. They are just got off. In the American League West, Seattle is in first place at 45-35. That division's been a major disappointment. Houston at 38-40. Houston starts to get together. Of course, their pitching has been depleted. Verlander hasn't been in that rotation all year. Hasn't pitched right when he's been healthy. Jose Urquidy had Tommy John surgery. Christian Javier had Tommy John surgery. France hasn't looked good. And the bullpen, Josh Hader, really impressively have struggled throughout the season. So their pitching's been a complete disaster, but they're going to play well. If that team gets going, some of the teams, how experienced they are, if they just get into the playoffs, don't be surprised they're back in the World Series. I'm not going to lie, but Still 38-40, still 6 games out of the division. Texas at 37-40, so going to play a little bit better. They've got Max Scherzer back for the first time this season the other day, so that should help them. Then you have the Angels at 30-46. They suck, and the Athletics 29-51. Not as bad as I thought, but still very bad. And nationally, going to the East, those continue to roll. They are 51-26. They are the second best team in all of baseball, and by far the best team. Well, not by far, but by a decent margin, the best team in the National League right now. They're pitching really well. Year's been very good. Noel's been good. Rachel Suarez has been made in the signing in the National League. They've been great. The bullpen's held together. They've been really good offensively. Harper's obviously had a great year. You've got contributions from Muto and Bohm, and all these other guys. Even Castellanos has been playing a little bit better. Schwarber. So they've been rolling. Braves 42-32. They started to play well, but overall hasn't had the year we thought they were going to, like they've had the last few years. They overall pitched very well. Chris Sale's having a bounce back year. For the first time in a few years, he's been healthy to this point. Bullpen's been pretty solid, but they haven't been great offensively as they usually are. Also, losing Ronald Acuna for the season definitely hurts. See if they make a move for another outfielder. You have National 38-39. They're hanging in there. Mets 37-39. Mets are playing a lot better. They're playing good baseball overall. You take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. Of course, now your closer, Evan Diaz, just got back off the IL. He's probably got suspended for 10 games. He came in for the 9th. Closed it out up for 3 runs in the 9th against the Cubs last night. And, of course, the umpire does their sticky stuff check, as they always do when a weather comes in. And then they pull the other umpire, said his hands were too sticky. The whole thing he said, I just use whatever I always do. I think the rule is stupid, but I'm not going to win this battle. So it's going to be a tough loss. But they do take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. They're 2 games under 500, playing better, or hanging around in that jumbled National League. And you have the moment to 27-50. They suck. National League Central, Brewers 45-33 are in first place. You have the Cardinals at 39-37, play a little better. They're in second. Pirates 37-40. Kid Paul Skeens continues to impress. He's got, I think, a 2.14 ERA and 4 wins so far. He might be National League Rookie of the Year favorite. Cubs 37-41. They just have really struggled offensively this year. They haven't gotten what they got out of Cody Bellinger last year. Christopher Morel had a really good year last year. Hasn't had the year that he had last year. And just overall, it's not gone well. And the Reds are 36-41. They just don't have enough pitching right now. National League West, Dodgers continue to roll 48-31. Missing a couple of guys. Of course, Mookie Betts is out possibly 2 months. Yamamoto is now hurt on the 15-day IL, but continue to play well. 8.5 game lead in that division. Padres are at 500, 41-41. They are in second. And third is Arizona, 38-40. What's really hurt them is the pitching. And you've lost a couple pieces in the bullpen. And Drew Montgomery was your big free agent acquisition, late free agency. Has not pitched well at all. He's got ERA over 6. He's been very bad. That's where we hurt them. And you have the Giants are at 36-42. They have not been good. They made a couple of moves late to get a starter base in Matt Chapman. He's hitting like 215 or something. Blake Snell has not pitched well. He's been horrible. So that's not going to explain. Jung Ho Lee's out for the year. That was another big move they made. So all the big moves that they made that overall, a lot of people, including myself, liked, we thought could put it right there in the playoff picture, have not worked out so far. And the Colorado Rockies 27-51. They might be the most meaningless organization in baseball. They are terrible. Let's say MLB standings. On to basketball. Kenny Atkinson has been named the next head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think this is a very good hire for the Cavs. He was a player briefly. Then he was an assistant for a while in the NBA. Then he got a chance in Brooklyn to be a head coach. Overall, they did a good job. He took a really young team, had them really competitive. They were in the playoffs. Then they traded everyone away and gave all their cap and picks for Durant, Harden, and Kyrie. Blew up in their face. Durant and all of them get Kenny Atkinson fired, and then have sucked since. He's been in the system with Golden State for a while. He's done a good job there. And a couple of years ago, he accepted the Hornets job and then backed out last minute to stay with Golden State as an assistant. But he has agreed to become the head coach of the Cavaliers. I was a little questionable getting rid of Jimmy Bickerstaff. I do like him, but I think it's a good hire for the Cavs. He played point guard in college, and as well as briefly in the NBA. He worked with D'Angelo Russell in Brooklyn. He got the most out of D'Angelo Russell in Brooklyn. I'm sure he's been a good influence on guys like obviously got to work with Stephen Curry, Ty Thompson, at Golden State. He was assistant with the Knicks at one point when they had Jeremy Lin. He did a good job working with Jeremy Lin. You have a good young guard. Darius Garland is really good, but trying to take the next step. If they keep him, I'm thinking about probably trading him. That could be a guy that maybe he can work with Donovan Mitchell, of course, as well. Hearing they're more likely than not, they're going to extend him. Those have been trade rumors. But Kenny Atkinson is the next head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Toronto Raptors extend Scotty Barnes 5 years, $270 million. That's a $54 million a year extension. It's a lot of money, but this kid's really good, really talented, former top draft pick, rookie of the year. Still only going to be 24 years old next year. He probably had a career this year, 19, almost 20 points a game he averaged, as well as 8 rebounds and 6 assists. He shot 47% from the field, and by far a career high, 34% from 3. He's really good. Guy who's turning into a very good scorer. His 3-point shot starting to come along. He's a really good athlete. He can rebound. He's a good defender. He's still only 22 years old, going to be 22 next season. He's a really good player. Definitely who the Raptors are building around. And look, has he deserved $270 million for being a guy for his career? Is a 16 points a game scorer? No. But I think in a couple of years, the guy's going to be an absolute stud. And, NBA contracts are out of control nowadays. That's what you got to do to keep a guy like that. And that's the building block. And that's what I have to do to keep him. And I did. The sub to the same thing with Jaylen Brown. Was Jaylen Brown worth $304 million last year? No. Was he the best player on his own team? But, they have him do to keep an All-NBA player. I did. And look, they just won a championship. And, the Raptors, all right, for a team that's out of the race and probably won't make the playoffs this year or the next couple of years possibly. They're very young and retooling and rebuilding. Was paying a guy who's never averaged 20 points a game in the season. $270 million, a perfect scenario, no, but he's a building block. He's going to be an All-NBA guy, in my opinion, for the next couple of years. You had to keep him. That's what they did. The Lakers, apparently in rumors about who J.J. Redick's staff is going to be. The top brands that have been named were Sam Cassell, Jared Dudley, and Rajon Rondo. Don't got a problem with Sam Cassell. He's been an assistant in the NBA for a very long time. He was a player for a while. He was a good player. Surprised he hasn't gotten more head coach looks. I think he's a future head coach in the NBA. He'd be a really good top assistant for J.J. Redick, a veteran who's been in the league for a long time, played in the league for a while, could help him out. On issues, I think he's probably more qualified than J.J. Redick to be the head coach, but we all know why Redick is the head coach there. Because of LeBron James. But Jared Dudley and Rajon Rondo, you would think when you have a rookie head coach with zero coaching experience, he only retired like 3 or 4 years ago. He's been doing, analyst and broadcasting for a couple of years now. He's never coached before, and now he's coaching a team with LeBron James, a team that is not good enough to even make the playoffs. Meanwhile, they have to win a championship in the next 2 years, basically. With LeBron probably re-signing for 3 years. You think Anthony Davis has got 2 or 3 years left on his contract. Reeves and Hockey Moore have 3 years left on their deals. D'Lo's probably leaving. They don't have a lot of depth on their roster. J.J. Redick got a 4-year deal, and LeBron loves to fire guys before their contract is up. So the guy won't change for the next 2 years. You would think they would want more veterans on their staff. Maybe like guys who have been head coach before, at least very experienced assistants like Sam Cassell. But 2 other guys who only recently retired, who are 2 former Lakers who recently retired, who have no coaching experience, like Rajon and Jared Dudley, you would think that would not be the direction that they would go. But they are. It's clear LeBron's pulling much friends. You can't tell me otherwise. You just cannot. Well, congratulations to Scotty Scheffler on winning the Travelers Championship. He had a crazy finish between him and Tom Kim on the 18th hole. You had a couple of protesters who stormed the green. They're like spraying like some sort of like confetti or stuff, or not confetti, but like red book, white stuff, some sort of substance on the green. So they had to take a couple minutes delay and clean that up. And Scotty had a birdie putt to win. He just missed it by about an inch. He tapped in for par. And Tom Kim clutch birdie putt to send it to a playoff, and then the playoff in the first playoff hole, Sky nicks Tom Kim to win the Travelers Championship. That is his 6th win of the season. He's the 2nd player, and only since Tiger Woods, to have 6 wins in a season when they've been the #1 player in the world. He's absolutely amazing. He's an absolute stud. And to finish out, let's talk about Friday Night Smackdown from 3 days ago. Starting off with CM Punk, of course, returned to Smackdown. Was in Chicago, so he got a big ovation. So he starts cutting the promo by Drew McIntyre. Then Paul Heyman comes out. Of course, CM Punk is the OG Paul Heyman guy. And so, can I come into the ring and saying, he was obviously airing out his grievances with the new bloodline, and then Punk and Paul Heyman hug, which is kind of a cool moment. Punk's gonna, he forgave Heyman. That was cool. And of course, the bloodline came out. Looked like they were about to pounce on CM Punk, but then Cody Rhodes came out and saved them. So then, moving on, we had a women's triple threat match from a Money in the Bank qualifier between Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Micha. And Chelsea Green picked up a win. So backstage, you were like, Jay was like, we got our tag titles back. And Bianca was like, well, all right, I got to focus on this now. But after we'll get our championship back, I think they're going to break those 2 up soon. And Bianca and Jay will have a match, probably big time PLE. So Chelsea Green wins. I was very happy for her. She's a very talented wrestler. I like her character. I'm happy she's in the Money in the Bank. You can say, oh, Bianca sure won. Bianca does not need to be in the Money in the Bank. She's already a stud. She's won the women's title multiple times. She's worked with Sasha Banks and beaten her. She's worked with Bayley and beaten her. She's worked with all sorts of top superstars. She doesn't need to be in the Money in the Bank. She doesn't need to be champ quite yet. I'm more interested in her against Jade Cargill. To be honest. You have a triple threat match for the Money in the Bank for qualifier on the men's side between Carmelo Hayes, Randy Orton, and Tama Tonga. And Carmelo Hayes picks up the win. Of course, he rolls up Randy Orton to pick up the win. I like him a lot. He's obviously former NXT champion. He's absolute stud. Of course, he says he's him, and he truly is. He's really good, and I'm happy that he's in the Money in the Bank. Then we had another Money in the Bank qualifier between Grayson Waller, Kevin Owens, and Andrade. And Andrade picked up the win to put him in the Money in the Bank ladder match. I like Andrade a lot. He goes to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Then you had Cody Rhodes against Solo Sikoa. Before we get to that, obviously you had Waller and Theory were arguing with Gargano and Ciampa of DIY. And then the garage opens up, and it's McIntyre, who will quit on Monday. I'll speak back. Standing over a blood CM Punk, and he carried CM Punk's lifeless body to the ring and just slammed him onto the stage. He took off Punk's bracelet. That bracelet said AJ and Larry. AJ is, of course, a former Divas champion, the WWE. In real life, that is his wife, and Larry is their dog. So, this really just bone-chilling moment there. I thought it was really well executed. And then Cody Rhodes against Solo Sikoa ends in disqualification, and then the Bloodline started to pounce on him. Then Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, of course, came the same day, and then they cornered Solo Sikoa, who was, begging for mercy, begging for her, smiling, and Jacob Fatu made his WWE debut. There's been rumors for months that he was joining the Bloodline. Another one of the members of the Bloodline, and he absolutely wreaked havoc, was absolutely incredible. The Bloodline is now Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu. Just to simplify things, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa are brothers. That is Solo and the Usos' cousins. I believe their father is Haku, and then Jacob Fatu is, I think, their other brother, I believe. So they're now involved. Apparently, Zillion Fatu tweeted out, soon, something like that. So he might be joining the Bloodline now. That is Umaga's son, the late great Umaga's son. So I think Survivor Series is going to be absolutely amazing. I think we're going to get Roman Reigns, the Usos reuniting. I'm sure Genius will come back soon. And then Zillion Fatu, and then one more member. And then against the other Bloodline, which is going to be Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Fatu, and The Rock, I think, will be the other part. The 5th member of Roman's Bloodline. Honestly, it might be Cody Rhodes. I could even see Sami Zayn, but we will see. But SmackDown was absolutely incredible. What a week in WWE. Monday Night Raw, you had the Wyatt Six making their debut. You had McIntyre quitting. Then on NXT the next day, you had Joe Hendry from TNA showing up in the Battle Royal. Then on SmackDown, you had Punk coming back and McIntyre, basically putting him in the hospital. Jake got 2 debuting. Just what a week in WWE. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.